Alright, so the name of this video is going to be Women That Are on a High Horse Because of the Male Species. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Like I've said, it's a lot of people out here that are family oriented, and it's a lot of inventions, and it's a beautiful world that we live in. And when I was a kid, I didn't think that, I'm not sure, I wasn't sure if I was going to live long or not. And, I had to learn that at an early age, I was going to have to survive the world on my own, even though I had parents. And, the more I learned, the more I realized that people were using, intellectualism or their lack thereof against me. So, and my family, I sat there and watched people set up situations in my life to where this, that, and the third happened. I mean, don't underestimate the power of. I grew up in dysfunction, so I really don't know what a family is. I didn't have one of those families where we grew up eating at the table together and everything was all hunky-dory. I really come from dysfunction, so, I'm not really sure of how to think or how to feel. All I know is that when I was young, there are age limits. There are laws. There are legal ages of gender for a reason, because there are experiences like mine personally where you'll realize that having sex at an early age, all that stuff is not good for people. You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of people, I suffer from schizophrenia a little bit because of, all that, and that is affected my everyday life. Learning concepts and, trying to embrace people without judgment, it's kind of hard to do because in this world, everybody has different paradigms that they form. And that's the fucked up part about life, is that I've met people that have not formed the same paradigms the same paradigms as I have. You see what I'm saying? And they really look at like differently. People like Boosie, I'm like, that nigga has seizures, so I know that he has concern for, in some kind of way, he feels, concern for his family. Because I grew up and I formed a paradigm where I didn't actually understand. I guess I had to develop an intuitive nature. I didn't actually understand, love. All I knew is it's a giving thing, and that might just be what it is. Like I've said, you give me this, I give you that. So, with all that being said, it really didn't make sense to me that people was having babies. And since I was an outcast for not being a young girl, 16 and pregnant and all that, I knew that I had to deal with these people that was going to grow up and really wanting to. We all were disdainful to ourselves, right? That's what we were learning. We were narcissists. And it just depends on how you talk. Some people was like, well, my dad taught me not to be disdainful, or my mom taught me. So that's the difference between certain people forming paradigms and having paradigms or not. Like, the way that my life is set up, it really, is messed up, because there really have been manipulative situations and people just want me to fight. I'm like, that's what this life is about. When you see all these people protesting in the streets and shit, I'm like, do I really have to do that? You will have a voice when you leave this earth. That's all that matters. It's not about rank. It's not about notoriety. It's about having a voice, right? That's how this democracy works. It doesn't matter if you leave here or not. People will know what you stood for. I'm a woman that doesn't want to be with a man. There's a lot that come with that. Those simple words. There's a lot of people, like I've said, all the men in my life, there's no way that they can experience pessimism. I see them be way too macho. So for all these women that's having babies and stuff, kudos to you. You're it's a beautiful thing. But like I've said, got this tattoo on my neck. It says product of abuse. I got this tattoo on my neck because I really do feel like an object. And I'm like, I really am getting treated like this. And people like, well, perhaps you need to just, pride yourself on being an intellect. And this people, it's all natural. You know what I'm saying? There are people that just will be put on pedestals and you'll be left on the back burner. Rest in peace to all the dead. For real. You know, I know I walk to work every day and I'm like, man, when I start losing weight, I get scared because it's a lot that comes with that. When your body changes, I never really wanted to be a person that was ripped and cut, simply because of the Bush mentality. It's like an inferior thing, right? Me feeling inferior to a man, they labeled us butch. You know what I'm saying? If you can do push-ups, you're a butch. If you have masculine credentials, you're a butch. There's no way you can be stronger than a man. That's the paradigm that I formed. There's a lot of these men around here getting off on it. They are getting off on it. That's really how we have to survive as women. I hope that, I'm pretty sure that's what feminism is about. That one day that there will be a lot of, women and men that really do have a way better quality of life. You know what I'm saying? Based off the paradigms that are being formed now, based off the troubles and things that we're going through. You know what I'm saying? I hope that it's less crimes, less people getting raped, less women getting penetrated, more love in the air. What about the crime of kidnapping? Shit like that. These women that claim to have good character, is that really how you gonna die? Even if nobody likes you, you gonna die with good character, knowing that you had a good heart? Is that really what you're going to do? What you're going to do? I sit here and see this paradigm of heterosexuality that I come from. You know what I'm saying? It's the demographic is basically the women are growing up with tomboys. We're getting toughened by men, and basically, the more a man respects you, the better he'll treat you. Well, if I see you do 100 push-ups, and no matter how you feel, you just gotta tough that shit out, man. It just seemed that though some people just got a good life for absolutely no reason. It's just fucked up. That's just how it is, though. I'm like, I experienced some mental changes. Finally 30 years old. Just realizing, like, a lot of people really wanted to force my hand, especially when it comes to manhood. I'm like, these niggas is going around here, with an arrogant nature because of the fate of their life. And I, as a female, as a random person on this world, gotta just accept the fact that they was able to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted an ego because of women. You know what I'm saying? Women are what makes me feel better, and manhood is my competition. I don't want to compete with these niggas, though. Or these women. I really if anybody ever watched this video, dig up fossils and shit, I just want them to know, like, how do you feel about, wow, when I went to ninth grade or 10th grade, ninth grade, I believe, we was learning about somebody like Odysseus and shit like that. Powerful man or whatever. Feminism is all a woman got. Be like, damn, one day people gonna dig me up and see, damn, that girl really had to be receptive of the fact that she was a female, or being viewed as this idea of being a female, and there are men forming paradigms against her, and she's going down in lesbian history, and those people really don't like her just because she don't want to be with a man. It happened naturally. I had them men was sitting there, and let me get one of my bitches to force her hand. All these bitches ain't stronger than me, so I'm gonna go around and do what I want to. They gonna still have to they gonna still have to submit to me. Ain't shit you can do about it. If I rape a bitch, they gonna praise me for it. If you rape a bitch, they not. I'm being viewed in this aspect. It really don't make no sense. I don't know, man. I got people, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how much masculine credentials a man's gonna get for, this, that, and the third, but from my understanding, when it comes to heterosexuality, this whole paradigm of human trafficking is supposed to be a way that people survive. If I get stranded, I know my nigga got me. You might need to get along with that nigga because he might be the one that protect you. He's stronger than you on a physical level. When I used to watch Lifetime movies with my mom, I couldn't get into them because, like I said, I'm porno. I really didn't grow up thinking differently than a man. So the fact that I'm a female and I come off like a female, I guess, it beats the hell out of me because I really can't really connect with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I sit here and I value manhood in a certain aspect, but I don't value every man I see. Every niggas out here, like, I kill bitches too. Like, that's a rare one of a kind. We are all niggas and bitches out here. What the fuck? I hate when I hear people say that. Like, women are just secondary to everything. Some people really do have that paradigm. I sit here and I be watching female fighters and shit. And I'm like, well, she thinks she's strong because she really works out. She does a good job. And, you'll build confidence and courage. It's not about dying. It's about dying. You see what I'm saying? Manhood is respecting me. It's something I just have to get over naturally as a woman. A nigga stuck his penis in me. I was viewed as an inferior, and I fight every day. That's how niggas and bitches is looking at the shit. It's just crazy to me, though. It's crazy, though. Because I seen some beautiful women. I'm like, before you interacted with a man, you was a goddamn female. That's what they tell us. Since our anatomy is looks a little bit different. Why? Why don't you just... I just want to know from an intellectual perspective. You don't have to respect me. That's cool. But what makes you respect a man over a woman when you are a female? That's what I want to know with some of these women. Like, do you really have a different mindset than mine? Let's be honest. If you was really in a situation where you're being viewed as an inferior, you think being a butch is gonna solve that shit? Doing 100 push-ups, going into convulsions and shit, you think you gonna get respect? No. There are people out here that's gonna view you as weak because you ain't built like that. That's obviously a traumatizing effect to your body that's unforeseen. You can't see it. That's what stress is. That's why I don't like these bitches. Because they having to survive by having butch mentalities. I respect the shit, but at the same time, I don't. Now I've got to get submission from another female, and I have to beg for it. Do men have to beg for it? All men ain't to be respected. All women ain't to be respected. It just depends. I'm being very sparse right now. It just beats the hell out of me. It's just real. It's real out here. In my life, manhood is winning. I don't want to look at that shit like that. I don't. Oh, God. Because I'm looking at some of these bitches and I'm like, damn, that bitch fine. She got shit bad. If I was a nigga, I'd do so hard at her. Just out of respect for her masculine credentials. It goes back to me being jealous of manhood. Being jealous of manhood, some men really do think that they're the reason that women are becoming masculine. And maybe they are. Rest in peace to all the dead. I don't know. A lot of shit start to make sense as you get older. I may seem ungrateful, but I just really would feel protected by male identity if I had a male identity, an actual male identity. I don't want to live in fear because a woman don't like me, because she see a woman when she look at me, because it's natural to be with a man. It's disheartening. It don't make sense to me. Motherfuckers be like making up shit in their head. I'm not just saying that. I have a lot of manipulative moments in my life when motherfuckers like, nah, I ain't had people falsely accusing me of liking men in my life. I'm like, I just gotta go along with this shit. Eat that shit, right? Ew. I'm like, these motherfuckers just really create manipulative situations so another person can look at me in a certain aspect. People look at me and they think I'm girly, but I'm like, I'm a whole nigga in the mind. I feel inferior to a man, don't get me wrong, but don't get that shit twisted. Being a woman has been a very humbling experience. Everybody hates me because of men, and that's how I feel. So, with all that being said, I don't know how to look at it. I see a lot of these niggas out here that happy, and these women out here claiming to be happy too. Maybe I'm not intuitive enough to understand what happiness or love means, but I'm like, all because I didn't want to be with a man. People were sitting there, what do you do if you're born in a situation where you really do have a quality of life and you got people that are inferior to you? We both have to make a choice. I had a mom, and it looks like she was born into dysfunction too. But her mom had a husband, they had a nice house, and I don't know who owned it or whatever the case is, but obviously, like they say, it's about the muscle. You can sit in here and live in this house all day, but me and my family, if we come up in there, we taking over the shit. I got women out here that really want to attack my paradigm and shit, and I'm like, you really against respect from a man for being a masculine woman. And I don't get that. It's fucked up because it's like some men really like, it really is natural, right, for a man to view a woman as a feminine detox. And I'm really having my womanhood used against me. These niggas really want to hurt my pride. Like, yeah, I'm a nigga. I got a big ass dick, and I'm doing this from an intellectual standpoint. I'm gonna see how far I can go with my manhood. Y'all done went far enough. I done helped y'all niggas write songs and everything. It really don't make no sense. I always knew that I would die because of a man, and it hurts, but it's all good though. It's all good. Women are being viewed in a certain aspect. It do take muscle to get certain things. I'm like, I lived in Georgia and I went to the Powder Springs area, and it's pretty nice. It's quiet, and I would call people from the Atlanta area and tell them that, hey, I'm pretty sure there were moments where it was silence and it was peaceful in Buckhead and Southwest Atlanta out there, MLK. You just gotta that's what life is about, cherishing those moments. Powder Springs is probably one of the most good places I lived in, and I think them people from overseas was like, well, I'm from overseas, and it's billions and billions upon billions of people, and it's never peace and quiet. It just be you and God or a higher power. It really does work like that. I really have to go around and submit to a man and hope that he protects me, and if he doesn't, I have to feel some type of way, scorned or belittled. You gotta be muscle. That's how this shit works. If you want your own privacy, house with a private gate, you're going to have to build that shit somewhere. Can't nobody take that shit away from you. Shit be so real, you won't even wanna goddamn live in there. I be wondering, like, unless the concept of manhood justifies when you do that shit, right? I'm working in a building right now. I'm like, the people that built this shit, I wonder how they feel about it. When you a man, it's a lot of credentials in there, especially when you get a woman to love you. That's why I'm like, I can't connect with that shit. They tried to force it on me, sure enough, but that shit ain't for everybody. I'm going down in dyke history, and I just want, before I leave this earth, I just want people to know that. I love women with all my heart and soul, but I can't appreciate their interest in men. I mean, I can appreciate it as far as protecting me, but I got so much more to learn and so many more experiences to justify the things that I've been through. When you're a man, most of these men are getting taught, well, when a man builds a house, especially when it comes to Bible and all that, when a man builds a house, it stands firm. It's firm. Without a firm foundation, you're nothing. It literally says shit like that. When you build a goddamn house, when you build a Walmart, when you build a McDonald's, motherfucker walking there. If you're a man, you walking there with confidence. If you're a woman, how do you feel about that? I don't know. My life would be way better if I was a man. And I don't think nobody should take offense to that shit. I really had to sit there and warn my little sisters that this is what the reality that you're going to face. No matter what you do, always study. Certain things you got to learn by doing and experiencing. It all go hand in hand with just being knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? That's why I kept trying to tell my little sister, like, look at all this shit that's going on in the world. It just beats the hell out of me. I'm experiencing a lot of emotional changes because I stopped drinking and smoking, so my brain will probably, feel different. Shout out to the Aloe, Chris, whatever. It works like that. It's like the motherfucker that sip syrup and all that. You just gotta stay away from things. Think positive. I'm like, I really do know girls that really don't have the same experiences as me, and they cannot feel the same pain that I feel. When I see a woman with a deep voice, I think she's traumatized from something. Anybody, just like they say, got hormones and food, blah, 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 blah. I be wondering, when I be seeing bitches get their ass whooped, when they boxers and shit, I'm not viewing you. I have formed paradigm. I can't view you as a strengthful person. It's awkward to me. I mean, you are trucking. It's just crazy to me. I'm like, bitches be boxers and shit. Some people come from the ghetto. They already grow up fighting with men. And it's just a rule of thumb. So I guess I'm pretty sure when you are a boxer, they'll teach you how to make somebody submit to me. You got to be very educated to do that. See, my thing is I like women, and I really want to please a woman sexually. So I formed a lesbian mentality, right? I used to think that being a butch was a lesbian. But a butch is actually a woman that has masculine credentials to a person that is being viewed as masculine. I'm sitting here naturally viewing men as masculine, so I'm like, or anybody that grow up around boys and stuff like that, and they getting taught really to be masculine and protect themselves and have confidence, has my deepest sympathy. Because a lot of the times, these type of scenarios, the women aren't being taught that. The women are being taught to be submissive bitches and stress. I got cousins and shit that did time. I'm like, we grew up in the same neighborhood. Why the fuck is you? What the fuck? I guess people that are CEOs and stuff can explain this to me. It really is in your mind. Battle in your mind. Like, I really think I live this life. I really think this, that, and the third. Niggas really don't be nobody special. I promote these niggas every day when I listen to these rap music. People can be petty. I be posting other people's pages. I'm like, man, I sat here and contributed to this state. It's something that I want to put on my resume though. Music producer, the different avenues that I've been through. Been through on a mental level as far as, my gender identity. Everything I've done pretty much says that I want to be a man. So I have to explain that. I want to put it in my resume that all these songs I done helped write, some of them were freestyle. I really analyzed the shit. I'm not sure if I was analyzing or not. See, when you're a tomboy, you don't really know if you're different than a man. Somebody just kind of tells you are, and it's kind of a mind game. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just got to figure out, what type of mind game people be trying to play. Because I'm like, if I could just find a real nigga that be like, sis, I understand your pain. I feel you on the concept of manhood and being jealous of it, I will worship your ass. I really try not to take offense to it, but that's what it is. I'm like, motherfucker gonna put you to the test. You really want to be a man? That's what Lil Boosie will say. Drive your ass all the way to Texas and do a show, hoping that everything goes well. You won't get shot up in there by another real nigga. Get some money and take it back to your family and tell them, I got shot up, but here, we got all this house. I feel sorry for these niggas, man. Because I don't doubt them. No matter what they go through. I'm like, damn, you done been shot up and all that shit and you still ain't dead? But trauma is worse than death. Just dropping dead. I promise you. We live this shit. I don't know, man. I guess, I said, being a man don't seem hard. We make it look easy. I go against the grains of my own emotions not being a man. That's all I'm going to say.